welcome back. A foggy start for many of us out here this morning, especially when we look at the Mansfield sky cam, and we can just really see all this just draped over the region. It's not as thick in, say, in some areas like Wellsboro and Elmira this morning, but still having an impact, especially on travel. A lot of areas in that US 15 corridor currently dealing with some fog and low visibility. So right now temperatures around 50 in Wellsboro, 54 from Corning all the way down to Mansfield. We've got 56 up in Penn Yan, 53 in Ithaca. So mostly 50s. There are a couple of 40s near 49 in Canisteo and in Morris. Otherwise we're sitting low to mid 50s for the morning. We're likely to get up into the 80s later on today. Satellite and radar shows not much going on, just a few light clouds passing through, moving in from the northwest, mainly traveling to the southeast and to the east this morning. We'll see maybe a few light clouds going through, but it's not going to impede on the sunshine today. That's going to do a great job at warming things up, getting things up into the mid 80s later on today. Our highs now, if you're in the southern tier, likely see a little bit more warmth in the northern tier. 84 Elmira, 83 Montour Falls, 82 Addison. We could take it south, maybe a little bit cooler in Troy, 79, and 80 for Towanda. Now looking at the pattern, so all this right, everything here in red, just a big ridge of high pressure that's going to keep the rain out and keep a lot of the clouds out as well. And it's staying put, so it's even actually strengthening going into Sunday. So tomorrow we're actually expecting it to be a little bit warmer and perhaps a little bit more humid. So because of all this, so we got all that clockwise flow that it's associated with a high pressure system. It is going to bring in a little bit of humidity, but so today more dry than tomorrow, but even then the humidity that comes in is not going to really move the needle too much. It will likely bring those dew points up into the 60s, but today they're likely to stay in the 50s. They're staying in the 50s right now, which is a good sign for later on. If the dew points are in the 50s in the morning, when humidity is typically at its highest, when we go into the afternoon, we're likely going to stay in the 50s there. So we're going to be comfortable. It's going to be a dry mid-80s kind of day. So not necessarily going to be dealing with humidity, but then we go later on into the rest of the weekend. That's where we could see a bit of an increase in the humidity, getting up into the 60s here on Sunday. So think today, not as humid, tomorrow, a little humid. Going into our future track in terms of clouds, well, we have to kind of like squint a little bit to find them. Just a few light clouds making their way through the region. Maybe a few more coming in this evening, but they won't do much to, after the sun goes down. We're still likely to see temperatures drop into the mid 50s later on tonight. We'll see just a few more light clouds make their way in the rest of the weekend, the whole weekend, looking very nice. Temperatures in the 80s. So 84 today. We're on that pleasant track of weather. We'll stay there for a couple more days. Down to the mid 50s tonight, so we could see some more fog tomorrow morning like we are this morning, but we are staying with those mainly clear skies going forward. Mostly sunny conditions, not just for today, but for the rest of the weekend and for the start of next week. We'll stay in those 80s. We'll climb closer to 90 for Wednesday. We do have the threat of a stray thunderstorm throughout the region, and those likely stick around going into Thursday and Friday. However, every day a 30% chance, so even after that dip back into the 70s, we're right back into the 80s for Friday, and the rain chances remain light going into the second half of next week.